slide. So it's the 7007 now, as well as the 8801, which we can't talk too much about, but I'm going to tell you some things about today. So the reason why there's so many Denons is Denon was the first company to have Odyssey built into it. All right, Denon was the first manufacturer to introduce Odyssey to the industry. Marantz has since added on pieces and will continue to keep adding on. Have the ability of supporting Odyssey Pro, and we'll talk about how you get the software and stuff. So here's what it is. We've already talked about Odyssey. We've talked about multi-EQ, multi-EQ XT. We've talked about dynamic volume, dynamic EQ. This is just one more way of calibrating it. When you have a system that's remotely located, what I know, I'm from the States. Microphone. But what they did do is they took a $5,000 B&K reference mic, they placed it inside an anechoic chamber, they measured the results and values of it, the overall performance of it, and they took that software curve and they applied it to the mic preamp. And then every mic is married to a mic preamp. So they can give you that performance without that price. Makes a lot of sense. Software suite's now up to 3.6. I need to edit that. And 3.6 just came out at CEDIA, so that gives you the ability of doing all of this year's products from D&M as well as from Integra or from NAD. So all right, the Odyssey Pro software suite is basically the same algorithm that's now being used in all the IMAX theaters. So IMAX is also using Odyssey Pro for all their calibrations. So it's maybe one more little sales tip that you could use with customers. Well, you've been to theaters. One of the best theatrical experiences is normally an IMAX theater because it's not just about the video, it's about the sound. And it's a professionally calibrated on front end and on the back end. Hey, listen, everything that you say Odyssey does is great. It does a good job of it, but I want to be able to personalize the EQ. Why can't I tailor what Odyssey's done? You can in Pro. So you can go in and look at the full software suite and what each one of the speakers, and this is where you can really start to explain the system. Because they can hear the difference, but some people go, really? Smoke and mirrors? Did it really do that much? I mean, video is easy. Mode, memory. I've taken that with, when I do like dealer events, where we're doing like the wine and cheese parties at night, and people are going, well, my system. And return. Let's pull this one up. Hey, look. It's a Denon AVR 4520 CI. CI is. They definitely don't know what a 1603 is, or a 7007. So, but they do recognize the rooms. The app will just... Settings. We got slideshow. You can turn the sound on if you want to hear the chime. Use iOS auto lock. They talk about priority levels for how things communicate to one another. If we go back out here to devices, we have volume. Now, I know some people say that the IP control and interface on the D&M products is sluggish. That didn't seem sluggish. Itself. If I go straight to the source that's showing and tap it, I could pull up every one of the network-capable sources. Now, as I mentioned earlier, on the 4520, if I went in and deleted Spotify and SiriusXM and Pandora, all these go away from the app. They also go away from the visual interface on screen, so we won't see those anymore. Let's go ahead and exit out of this. If I want to change the DSP or the surround mode, I can tap right here. We can see which ones are available. And we can exit out. Down here at the very bottom, these main 8 keys. These keys are personalized, so you can tailor them. If I go and press and hold media player for about 5 seconds, I can pull up and change that to make it so that that's now going to be the cursor control. With inside cursor control, I could go to setup, and for anybody that's close enough, I didn't want to take the on-screen off here, you can see that I just pulled up the system setup on the front panel of 4520. And I can go and navigate through it. I'm down to Setup Assistant, I'm back up to Audio, and I'd be able to navigate the full system setup of the receiver. Now, the cool parts of that one, everybody, is that if you had your video display up and working, but you didn't have your control system up and working, the receiver's back in the rack, but you needed to see the on-screen, you could sit here with your iPad, or your iPhone, or your Android, and use this as your IP-based remote to navigate and set up the preliminary stuff of the receiver. Just trying to make your lives easy. I scroll the whole way to the bottom and select iPod player here. Now iPod Player is within inside of this main page. If I tap iPod Player, this pulls up what's currently playing. When I hit the AirPlay logo at the very bottom, you can see all the AirPlay capable devices are now showing up. So I could send it to any one of these. You don't have to do it from our app. You could come out here. You could do it from the Music Player app. I could go up here to the very top and select it. What I'm trying to get out is we don't have to multitask and go double tap and flip between different sources. You can stay inside the D&M application and not have to work off of 5 or 6 different apps. Now, let's go ahead and switch gears and pull up the Denon version just so you can see both sides of the plate since we're already in. Okay, so we're still doing AirPlay. We could go back out to the library. We could see all of the content here. Let's go ahead and get back out to Player View and go back out to the main home. Inside a network, I'm going to pull up the media server. I asked earlier about how many of you have used AirPlay before. You need it for AirPrint. You need it for AirPlay. You need it for one Apple device to basically communicate with another one. The problem is that not every router on the market supports it. There's also some other configurations that need to be done inside the routers. So before you walk out of here today believing that every router on the market will just work, don't. Yeah, if we all did, there'd only be one manufacturer. The Digital Living Network Alliance, which literally is plug and play for the most part. I mean, it doesn't take much thought. Got a couple apps to show you. And one more called Media Connect. Now, for a lot of people, all these things scare the hell out of people. You don't want to know this much. Problem is that your customers have all these products. They have access to all this technology. And if you offer them the info, you're slightly better than the next person. So, Media Connect, Sync Stream, and Air Music. Let me show you what they do. They do some... As they say in Boston, it's wicked pissa. All right, watch this. There's another one. It's called Air Music. Sorry, I can't kneel too far. My knees are killing me. So, no, you're good. I'm just going to move back up off to the side then. Thank you, though. So you just turn on Air Music, and it goes and finds all the DLNA-capable products. Okay? I'm going to show you one more then. Here's this one called Media Connect. This one's really slick. All right? This isn't only a DLNA player, meaning a streamer. This is also, or a server, this is also a DLNA playback device. How many of you use iTunes in your house? Okay, you turn on home sharing, doesn't share. If you wanted to watch stuff back on your iPad and you stored it all on a DLNA server, a NAS someplace, this app will act as a playback for DLNA content. If I come down here into Media Server, Sync Stream, Air Music, hell, even my Droid X is showing up. All of this stuff right here is everything off of my iPad. Air Music, music, artists, so with that, now I'm pulling this. This is playing off my iPad. Was the iPad ever supposed to be a DLNA device? Was the DLNA device ever supposed to work on Apple products? The crazier part is if I went into the Media Connect one, I could even go and pull content off my Android phone to get out of it, and there are still a couple holes in it. It's not as full baked as what we want it for the custom world. Retail-centric end user experience, one-to-one. I use HDMI as the best example of it because in the HDMI circuit, does anybody know which one comes first, the chicken or the egg? Does video transmit first or audio? Somebody say video. Somebody say video. Video. It's a damn good answer, and it's right, okay? So on the HDMI bus, the video goes first and audio trails after it. Well, we extract the audio, pull HDCP, and then re-encode it after video processing, and then we extract audio and pull HDCP and process it, DSP it, D to A it, we get playback. When all that happens, you're hooking up the multi-zone via what? Analog. Do you think they're going to be at the same timestamp? No. When you remove the video processing side...
Anybody in the room willing to admit you're a gamer? I am. Is there video latency in gaming? Hell, I even built a lag switch. But
you can actually correct that lip sync, or not lip sync, main zone, multi-zone delay that happens. It's an easy fix. Moving into the new products, since I mentioned it earlier during Denon, I'm bringing it up now again. In the new products moving into next year, the 4520